Hello fellow homosexuals, now I'm going to give you a little story time, only a miniature one, but basically, whenever I'm scrolling through this godforsaken platform because I have nothing better to do with my life, I occasionally stumble across something and think to myself, this is certainly evidence that there is no God in this universe.
Wow, amazing.
Because with what we're talking about today, with all of the research that I've compiled, I've basically come to this conclusion that we just need to throw the blueprint out, we just need to quit what we're doing right now and just go back to the beginning. Because I feel like at this point, society has come to this point of where we have moved past the need for YouTubers. And does that include myself? No, it doesn't. In fact, I am speaking about a very specific brand of YouTuber that I don't think we need anymore. A very niche genre on YouTube, also known as family YouTubers.
I'm closer! I'm closer! Put your head right here. I'm closer. Close down. Put your head down here. Act like you're crying. Really quick.
I am crying.
Go like this.
No, Mom, I'm not just usually crying.
No, I know, but go like this. For the video. Go like this. Put one hand up. Go like this. No, go like this. Put your hand like this. But let them see your mouth. Let them see your mouth.
No, Mom, I'm actually crying.
Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
I'm actually crying.
I know, look at me.
Ah, yes, my favourite side of YouTube, the genre of YouTube where parents exploit their children by making them cry in a thumbnail for views. Oh yes, we're on the moralistic side of YouTube today, boys. But on a serious note, this clip came from a very serious situation which has been going around on social media recently, where people have started to have the very needed conversation of, are family channels right for YouTube? Are these channels okay to be on this platform? And that might sound like a very weird question, but I feel like there are a lot of ethical dilemmas when it comes to family channels, which leads to a lot of parents exploiting their children for gains in the YouTube algorithm. This is something that I've noticed, especially over the last 5 years on this platform, with a lot of terrible situations involving parents exploiting their own children. Now you may be wondering the question of what actually is a family channel? Well, it's quite literally in the name. If you don't understand what a family channel is based on the two words family channel, then maybe you're not intelligent enough to be, I'm making it sound out like I'm some genius myself, but a family channel is basically this place, this traditional YouTube genre of where a family will create a YouTube channel and base that channel around vlog footage which shows the day-to-day lives of a certain family, and this genre has been absolutely massive on YouTube for quite a while now. And ultimately, I have had a very big problem with a lot of these channels. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean every single family channel on YouTube is bad. That doesn't mean every single one has even committed one bad crime on this godforsaken platform, but ultimately there have been a lot of specific controversial situations involving family channels over the years, and I think it makes it even worse given the fact that there are very young children involved in these situations. But before we go into that, before we discuss that, we need to see who are the main players when it comes to the family channel genre. Well, I think a lot of these you have probably heard of, the main one being the Ace family. After joining YouTube in 2016, now with 19 million subscribers, these guys have basically been killing it for absolutely ages on this platform, with wonderful content such as our new dog bit our baby, scary moment.
Why are you the way that you are?
Thanks for that. Thanks for letting me know that it was scary, because, you know, a dog biting a baby before that wasn't really scary to, but now you put it in the title, now I'm terrified. Thank you very much. Thank you for that. I needed the warning that a dog biting a baby is scary. And there are plenty of other channels like this on YouTube, some not as controversial and some arguably even more controversial, such as the LaBrant Family, the Cheyenne, Roman Atwood, and plenty more, including a channel which was actually permanently removed from YouTube after severe child abuse allegations. Now, I want to preface this with that I don't have a problem with every single family channel on YouTube, as I previously said, but at the same time, I think it does bring in some ethical dilemmas about the YouTube algorithm and how views leads to more money, and that could easily lead to parents thinking that they need to make their children cry in thumbnails, cry in videos in general, just to get more views, because ultimately, a person crying in a thumbnail thumbnail, a child crying in the thumbnail will get them more views, and we will explore this ethical dilemma in the further part of this video. I'm not going to be breaking down every single channel that I've mentioned. I'm more going to be using specific case studies and specific situations to ask the questions of, are these channels coming from a good moral place, and is this exploitation, and do I personally want family channels permanently removed from this platform? And I think the best place to start is with one of the more recent situations that you have probably seen, because a clip was circulating around social media which I previously showed you.
I'm closer. I'm closer. Put your head right here. I'm closer. Close down. Put your head down here. Act like you're crying. Really quick.
I am crying.
Go like this.
No, Mom, I'm not just usually crying.
No, I know, but go like this for the video. Go like this. Put one hand up. Go like this. No, go like this. Put your hand like this. But let them see your mouth. Let them see your mouth.
No, Mom, I'm actually crying.
Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
I'm actually crying.
I know. Look at me.
So this disgusting scene comes from a YouTuber known as Cheyenne, who faced a lot of backlash, understandably, after clearly trying to convince her child to cry so they could get more views because of, I guess, a very upsetting thumbnail, which could be clickable, because naturally so, I've spoken about this in the past, when you see something tragic in a title or a thumbnail, you're going to be more inclined to click on it. When there is something negative in a thumbnail or a title, that really just makes you want to see what happened, because, you know, we're human beings, and it's hard to look away from a car crash, you know, and I feel like these family vloggers very much understand that. Now, when it comes to other content of somebody clickbaiting something negative, if it doesn't involve children, I'm usually not that upset by it, but when you're exploiting a child to the point of getting them to cry for a thumbnail, obviously there is a major ethical dilemma there, which I don't even think I need to explain what is the dilemma. I mean, I'm going to. You're making your own child cry in a thumbnail. That is obviously disgusting. And it's very clear that these content creators are extremely lazy. I mean, she left this clip, this damning clip, in her vlog, and I'm just thinking, how are you this dumb to leave this in your own YouTube video and then publish it to your 500,000 subscribers? It's absolutely mind-boggling. And it all led to this god-awful response video.
What's going on, guys? I'm posting this on Instagram, and I'm also going to upload these IG stories to my YouTube. So if you're watching on my YouTube and it's vertical ways, this is why. I have posted 3 apologies about this so far. I went on the Dad Challenge podcast this morning. He asked to interview me. We answered so many questions about child exploitation and children on YouTube. I have made a commitment moving forward to not include my son in any videos. I've even went back and took off about 20 videos that had myself and Christian in them. I will continue to do so. It's going to take me a minute. I've been vlogging for 8 years, but I have made the decision that is 100% the healthiest for my child and his mental health to be off the camera. And I just want to let you guys know this as well. After 8 years of vlogging, I am making the decision to take Christian completely off my channel. This is not because of the hate or the backlash I'm getting right now, which is absolutely fucking so much and terrible, and death threats and things that I believe are so past the limit. I fucked up so fucking bad, you guys. I'm so mad at myself. Talked about this more on Josh's podcast if you want to check it out, and someone even commented like, oh, you're just promoting a podcast for monetization. I don't get a penny from that, nor do I want one. I pushed myself to have the courage to go on that podcast knowing he would probably fucking rip me to shreds, and he let me talk about my struggles with sharing my child online.
If there was a physical embodiment of being the complete and utter opposite of being sorry, I feel like this video would be it. I feel like this would be a very good summary of that, because it doesn't seem like she's sorry. It more seems that she's angry at everybody else for calling her out for this. She's like, oh yeah, guys, I'm really sorry, and you know, I've made 3 apology videos. But bro, I don't give a shit if you made 3 apology videos. You still did what you did. Like, come on. And that only makes me think your whole channel is based on exploiting your children for views. And obviously, death threats are absolutely terrible. And if you're sending them to this person, you are also absolutely terrible. That's not going to create some resolve here. That's only going to make things worse. But for the most part, I feel like most people were rightly angry at Jordan. And now this actually did lead to Jordan deleting her 500,000 subscriber YouTube channel, which is a pretty big statement. Deleting a channel with that amount of subscribers, which is probably her full-time job, is pretty ridiculous, but I think it shows that even she realized how bad this situation was, and I think it is a sign of a YouTuber who started out with very innocent intentions, but realized that making their child cry in thumbnails is a very easy way to get money, which is coming from the views. And you know, I'd like to say that this is the first situation of where a family channel exploits their children, but yeah, nope. She got diagnosed with cancer. A video from the LaBrant Family.
Hey, yo, what the f?
Oh, that sounds really bad, Fraser. Why are you saying it in that tone? Because this thumbnail is actually very different to the original one, which they changed after Backlash, because the original one is a photo of their family together, and the question is do any of the family have cancer? No. No, they just casually made that title and put a photo of the family, even though none of them have it, and it's basically just, oh, yeah, I was actually a bit anxious that my child had cancer. Did they have cancer? I have to say it again. No! All they did, which involves cancer, is say, yeah, sometimes I get health anxiety, and sometimes I go to hospital wards and film other people with cancer and use them for views on my YouTube channel.
I was truly just riddled with anxiety. I had convinced myself that our 2-year-old daughter had cancer, and it sounds so blunt and so almost bad to say, but I was convinced, and I wasn't eating. I couldn't sleep. She had bruising on her legs, like most kids do, but as you Google things, you can just convince yourself of stuff, and that's my personality, unfortunately.
And we really didn't talk to anybody about it.
No.
That's the thing too, so I think it was like eating him up inside too.
Now, firstly, I have to say, thankfully, nobody in the family has cancer. That's obviously a good thing, but at the same time, you have clickbaited this and then changed it, I believe, without saying anything. I mean, even if you did say anything, it would still be terrible. And you've made a 40-minute video exploiting another family's trauma, and that is absolutely insane, and it's just a really good summarization of family channels' morals. But this video got 133,000 likes because this is a genre which weirdly has a lot of dedicated fans. So firstly, I have to say, could you please like this video, because I'm worried that this is going to get dislike bombed to shit, because a lot of these family channels have this cultish audience. So please like, please subscribe. I'm trying to hit 1 million subscribers, but at the same time, the reason I feel like these family channels have this dedicated audience is because I hate the word, but they have a very normie audience. They have audiences which really aren't too privy when it comes to YouTube drama, YouTube controversy, and when they watch these videos, it's probably the only channels they particularly watch. Adults, maybe younger people, who are loving this content, and then they see a channel like myself critique them, and they get very mad without even watching the video, because these channels are the only channels that they watch, and that is just something I feel like we're going to have to deal with, but ultimately, that is also how they get away with clickbaiting such horrific things like cancer. I mean, this isn't even the first time the LaBrant family have been caught doing weird stuff when it comes to baiting trauma for views. In 2019, they deleted a video where they made their daughter cry on camera for views after saying that they were getting rid of their dog, and obviously it was just a prank. And obviously that's absolutely terrible, but some people may come in and say, well, Fraser, I know what you're saying. I know you're saying that the LaBrant family, the Ace family, all those families are bad in terms of their content. But at the same time, there are a lot of other family channels who are good, they haven't done anything bad yet, and you wouldn't be wrong in that criticism. That is very fair, but I have to say, these are the top family channels doing this. These are the channels that set the examples, they show the other channels how to get views, how to become rich, get a lot of money, and have a lot of subscribers come into their channel. So naturally so, a lot of the smaller guys who haven't yet done anything bad are probably going to see seeing the fact that they're clickbaiting trauma, they're clickbaiting their children cry, seeing that that gets views, and they're probably going to become copycats of that. And I think that is where the question of, are these channels morally correct when it comes to YouTube, even if they haven't done anything wrong yet? Because of course there is the possible risk that they could do this after seeing the bigger channels do this. But also I do feel like there is this very big debate we need to have about recording your child every day and uploading that onto YouTube, and I will get into that in the later parts of this video. But going back to the thing about clickbaiting your children in thumbnails, even with the Ace family, I don't know if I'm being a little bit of a little snowflake here, but is it a little bit strange to basically take a photo, I guess, after your dog supposedly bit your daughter and posing in that thumbnail looking sad? How is this not strange behavior? Your daughter could have been hurt and the first thought you had was to take a thumbnail. I mean, if I had a daughter and she was bit, I wouldn't be thinking, oh, how can I exploit this for a YouTube video? I'd be thinking, Jesus Christ, maybe I gotta, actually train my dog. Like, okay, it's a puppy, but, maybe just don't put that on the internet and just think, yeah, this is a moment which we're going to keep private because my daughter's been hurt, and I think it would be a little bit weird to pose in a photo for a thumbnail. It's just very strange behavior. But to be honest with you, the Ace family, it's not in terms of just family channel things that they've done. There's a whole branch of things this channel has done, and maybe that's for a whole dedicated video. And when I say a lot of things with the Ace family, I mean one of the big controversies they had back in 2018 involves the main guy from the channel, Austin, goes into an adult store with his young niece and buys her a lollipop the shape of the genitalia.
Are you really making me buy this lollipop right now? You really want it? Yeah. Oh, God. It's gonna be 7. Please, bro, put that in a bag right now. Keep that in the bag forever. Do not show that to anybody, okay? That's your little secret.
You are a sad, strange little man.
Now, obviously, this whole thing is extremely creepy, extremely weird, and you have to say, Austin, what the fuck are you doing, mate? What are you doing? Like, seriously, what are you doing? Is your mind this warped that you are now thinking, oh, what can I do which is controversial and will get me an Instagram or Snapchat story or even a YouTube video? Because that's what is with these family channels. Their brains have been rewired to the point of where they are willing to do absolutely anything, even for a Snapchat story. Now, obviously, all family channels aren't like this, but there does seem to be a common trend of where family channels will start off very nice, very wholesome. They're just making videos with their children and their wife or their husbands, getting stuff like that. It's very nice, but eventually these channels will start to do more out of pocket and ridiculous stuff for views, like using cancer as clickbait, like these Instagram stories, like making your child cry in a thumbnail. These are things that the bigger family channels have realized gets attention, gets views, gets controversy, and ultimately brings in new subscribers to their channel. But in some situations, it's even led to a point of where the owners of the channels, the parents, have actually had their children taken off them.
And so that first story we're going to talk about today is about a family that has garnered a lot of negative attention in the past week. And that's a family that's been sharing their lives on a YouTube channel by the name of Daddy of 5. And it's a mixture of a family channel and also a prank channel, although unlike a lot of the family prank channels, they also prank the kids. But not in like the Jimmy Kimmel, we ate all your candy during Halloween kind of prank. And the reason they've been receiving all this attention the past week is they put out a video called Invisible Ink Prank Epic Freakout. And the mom on the channel explains the prank in the beginning. We have invisible ink, we're going to pour it all over one of our son's floors, and then we're going to act like we think one of our kids did it, and that's the prank. It even seems pretty sweet in the beginning.
Hey guys! So, I got a prank for Cody.
And then once the prank begins, the tone changes.
Now, I can't play the entire clip because YouTube will age restrict this video, and I want as many people as possible to see this video so they can see the effects and results of these channels on this platform. But basically, the two parents are screaming, shouting, and bullying their own children into hysterics for something they didn't even do, and it concludes by the father saying this.
It's just a prank, bruh.
It's just a prank, bruh. Well, it wasn't a prank when you had your children taken off you. Yes, as just shown, this is certainly the darkest point in the history of family channels. This is where Daddy05 were basically exploiting their children day to day by basically, in my opinion, abusing them and uploading that onto the internet. And this is a very well-renowned situation for where they actually had their children taken away from them. And I think this is definitely the most famous situation involving family channels, and I'm not going to go into grotesque detail. I'm not going to show absolutely every clip out there because there are plenty of videos covering this, but these people were pretty much known for just recording their children having breakdowns on camera. That sounds mental, but that is what their entire channel was based on.
What's up, Team DO5? Today is the day, well, today's not the day, tomorrow's the day, but today is the day that we're getting ready for the day to be the day. So today, we're getting ready to leave for Disneyland. Nan and Pop will be here soon to get the dogs, and Nan and Pop will be here soon also to get Cody, because Cody did not earn to get to go, and that sucks, but that's life. That's what happens when you misbehave. But I don't want to get into all that because I'm upset about it. But that's what's going on, and yeah, all that other shit. Stressful day, guys. Stressful ass day. Okay. Bye, girl.
She's sad.
The girls are leaving. Cody's going to Nan's because Cody was bad and didn't earn going to Disney.
Firstly, these are very young children, you know? These are children who I don't believe are even age 13, and even if they were above 13, that behaviour, shoving a camera in their face saying, oh, you're not going to Disneyland, it's just weird, it's just nasty. You're bullying and shaming your own child and then putting it onto the internet for, at the time, I believe their million subscriber audience, so significantly large audience. That is absolutely balmy behaviour, and I know a few people will say, oh, well, he was just being a dick, it wasn't exactly disturbing. Well, just watch this.
No, I wanted to take it.
Okay, well, I don't want to take him. I love the boy, but I don't want to take him because he's bad at shit and he's going to make everyone miserable the whole time. He put poop everywhere. Several times. Poop.
Now, not only is it incredibly disturbing that these content creators, these truly awful people, had their minds warped to the point of where they were willing to post their children, their young children's issues onto the internet, but also the thing they are talking about is quite obviously an indication, a trait of deep lining psychological trauma, and they were so warped because of this channel that they were running, this family channel. It doesn't really seem much of a family to me, but their mind was so warped that they didn't realise that, and they thought that this would be suitable content to upload to the internet. Now, as I said earlier, thankfully these people lost custody of their children, and I know that sounds very strange to say thankfully, but I believe that these children were in a very bad environment, an environment of where they were being exploited simply for views and money, and I don't think that's a healthy environment for a child to grow up in. So yes, thankfully, this led to them losing custody of Cody and I believe maybe another child. And I know this is a very different situation to the ones I've previously mentioned, but ultimately the two people in charge of this channel were willing to upload these videos because they saw that viewers really wanted to watch videos of terrible and awful behavior from these two parents in their own family channel videos. And I know to a lesser extent, of course, but there seems to be this trait with family channels realizing that they can capitalize on sadness and pain in order to get views, and I think that begs the question of should these channels be allowed to exist? Because not only are the bigger channels setting examples to do terrible things to get views by exploiting their children, but ultimately I do think we need to ask the question of, is it right to be recording your children every single day when they're at a very young stage in their life and then uploading that onto the internet? Because I don't think that's a healthy environment. And I know some people will say, oh, but child actors out there, they're in movies and they're in press conferences every day. And yeah, I agree. I think that we need to start having serious conversations about young internet stars, young Hollywood stars being exploited. This is something that has happened for a very long time, even before YouTube, and has clearly affected a lot of people in the past, particularly when they started to grow up after realizing a lot of the shit that they went through wasn't right, and there was also deep lining psychological trauma from the previous experiences in their past. And I think with being on camera every single day can only lead to negative effects. And the reason I'm bringing up a lot of these case studies and examples of controversies from family channels, despite not all family channels being terrible, is because, as I said, these guys set examples. Some of them at one point were the top of the game of family channels, and some, like the Paiz family and the LaBrant family, still are at the top of that game. But also, even if these channels aren't doing anything terrible and they are just harmlessly uploading content, I do still believe that there are negative implications on these children by simply being on camera every single day. Because ultimately your life is becoming a reality TV show. That's basically what this is. Uploading a video, an episode of the show every single day, because it's not just regular content. It's not just like somebody's coming on YouTube and reviewing food, reviewing music, reviewing a book. This is a show. This is something with high production value. This is something that they plan to do things and upload it for the viewers' entertainment. This is something which isn't so simple, and I feel like this could really affect children, because to be honest with you, being on YouTube 3 days a week affects me, and I'm 24 years old, so I can't imagine how it affects a 9-year-old. Are all of these channels terrible? No. But could it negatively impact their children's lives? Yes. And I think if you're denying that, you're either a fan of these channels or you're just playing blissful ignorance, because to be honest with you, having a camera shoved in your face every day for videos like this, it's truly not a good thing. Our first pet died, and there's a photo of a girl crying in the thumbnail. Breaking the bad news to Everly, and again, it's a photo of them being sad. These are very common traits throughout these family channels of where they know for a fact that having their children being sad in the thumbnail, in the title, is going to draw people in, and that is only negatively going to impact these children, because that's just how it works. If you're forcing somebody to be sad in a YouTube video, that's obviously not going to be a good thing when it comes to their brain. Social media is a very addicting thing, and it alters your brain very severely. This is something which has had plenty of scientific studies on, so I think we really need to speak about this, especially when there are compilation videos out there about somebody's daughter crying on camera with 500,000 views. To conclude this video, I feel like a lot of the behavior, even if it isn't exactly terrible or meant to be bad behavior from family channels, is going to impact these children, and I think that is not a good thing. And I would love to hear your opinions on this, whether you think they shouldn't be on YouTube, whether you think they should be on YouTube, but maybe we need more restrictions on them and to keep a closer eye on them. I think for the most part the content involved in these channels is obviously harmless, but I do think we need to think about the children's well-being when it comes to these channels, and also think about the parents that have turned these children into well-oiled content production machines, leading to money, leading to views, and ultimately leading to pay the bills. I think a lot of it is incredibly immoral. I think there are a lot of dilemmas here which haven't been spoken about enough, and I would love to hear your thoughts on it. But yes, that is the end of this video. I know it's a little bit different to usual. I do want to do more of these overarching videos about specific genres on YouTube in the future, so if there is anything you want me to talk about related to these genres, please let me know in the comment section. But thank you very much for coming along to this video. If you could like it, because I understand these channels, as I said earlier, have very dedicated fan bases, I would very much appreciate that. Drown out, I guess, whatever hatred comes my way. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel, because I am trying to hit 1 million subscribers. And also, my social media, if you want to follow me, is inabber69 on Twitter and inabber on Instagram. That is the end of the video. Thank you so much for coming along, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out, people, and have a cracking day.